Hi everyone, welcome back to another video in Maxstar Devs. So in this video we are gonna see what it means to really polish our game. So I am working on my indie game, and for past few weeks I have been polishing the game. So what does it mean to really polish our game? So polishing really happens after you have completed most of the important features, like you have made the levels, you have made most things and everything else, like enemies and the just core gameplay of the core gameplay. So the polishing is to make your game look great and to add the juice in it, to make it looks nice, such as tons of button sounds, as you can see here. I have so many button sounds and some animations as well, and some background animations as well, background music. And here we have these animations. As you can see, these pop-ups are floating, and are basically it's just scaling and descaling by a simple animation. And that's then it. And here we have the bestiary, and as you can see, I made this so when you click a button it gives a sound. So basically it gives sound on most buttons, and that's it. And adding some particle effects, and I have also made a difficulty system. So difficulty, adding a difficulty system can also be a part of polishing in a way, because you allow player to select more difficulty is if they find a game too hard, they can easily switch the difficulty, or perhaps they find it too easy and then they can select another difficulty. It's always a good idea to have more difficulties in a game, so player can test themselves. As you know, I have these tons of difficulties. And another thing for polishing is, you don't need to, but it's recommended, is to add localizations or locales or translation, whatever you want to call it, for your game. As you can see here, I have some locales tables for play settings. Let me just drop it in here. As you can see, I have locale settings in here, and here, as you can see, where I go in Italian, I go in Spanish. Players can enjoy the game in different languages. You can have English, Italian, and Spanish, and more languages according to your game. And that's pretty much most of it on the UI section, like on UI and button clicks. Now the other thing includes the gameplay stuff, which is with some particles and other effects. So now let's just take an example of a game play here in my game. Here we have a basic player, and there are sound effects when the player fires, and there are sound effects when they fall, and some particles. There are different particles. That have died, and here we go, and we have those other particles. And basically lag cause, if it causes performance issues, when the player can't light the game. And yeah, it was of nice visuals. So you would want to better or add juice to it, but in a limit, but in a limited it does not affect the it does not affect the there are so that also the optimal solution would by reducing the number of particles optimizations to maintain the performance, but that is for another video. Now the third one is probably the important one, which is sound effects. So you would want to have sound effects for most of the things in your game, such as if an enemy dies, you want to play a sound effect. If an object falls to the ground, you would want to play another sound effect for the object for falling and all the other activities. So basically, sound effect pretty much makes half of your game. If the game doesn't have sound effects, it would be just a boring or not much great game. Sound effects really add up to it, to the juice of your game. As you can see, as you can see, when I collect them, they let out a small sound, and when they fall, they also, and when I shoot bullets, they also show sound and are really important, especially that you want to give the player a different feeling, such as possibly the otherwise the player would just be bored. Otherwise it would be like just empty image or video that will go on. So that so these things I just said applies to mostly all the games, no matter the engine you are making them. Such as it can apply to a game in good and the engine really doesn't matter. The engine is really just a tool in which you are making your game, and it doesn't mostly matter. So you can add these things in pretty much every engine you are working on, such as you can add controls, a control section to the game, telling the players about controls on how to actually play the game. Another setting such as the privacy policy button, if you want to have that, and and maybe some other things you might want to have a bestiary, but that's totally up to you and your specific type of game. You might want to have some nice animations or pop-ups for your game, or a detailed section where you tell player about abilities of the game, on how to use certain weapons or so. That's totally up to you, but in some cases it really makes the game more alive and helps the game. So basically, if a pop-up shows, pop-ups are really great, really great. So for example, let's test it out. I'm gonna show you the first time player opens a game, they get a privacy policy telling them to read the privacy policy, and let's just continue. And here we have our difficulty panel, where player can select their difficulty from very easy to impossible. And let's just go in here and we can hit play, and here we have a nice pop-up telling player about the game, and then they can go into the campaign mode and continue the levels. And in the level section we have tutorials in text telling you about what to do and how to exactly to play the game. You can have tutorials in any form, better than in a pop-up or an animation or in a cut scene or other things such as text
text in a wall or some maybe characters displaying the text. It's totally up to you and your specific game. So if you enjoyed the video, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I will try to upload more videos soon, and goodbye.